Like,
oh, I'm muted. Are we live? Of course we're live. People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. As usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. I appreciate everybody who's locked in. Obviously, if you're listening to this or if you're not listening to this, I hope everyone's made it through to the end of the week. You know, obviously what starts on Monday technically ends on Sunday, but ends on Friday. Hope you've all had a progressive week in all aspects of your life. Hope you're all in good health. Hope you're all enjoying Friday and enjoying, you know, or going to enjoy your weekend or the build up to it, people. Obviously, in terms of that, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you set your reminders, because obviously, provided it goes ahead, Leeds versus Arsenal is live from 5:30. So I'm going to be live tomorrow from 4:30. After this at 2 p.m. I man said 2, I'm lying to you. At 4 p.m. I'm going to be playing Football Manager on Twitch. I was supposed to have Graham today, but Graham's been moved to Monday. So you've got an extra couple of days to get any questions in. Obviously, when Graham is you got to follow Twitch for that. When I have Graham, I'm going to ask him his opinion on Aubameyang. Obviously, I'm going to ask him to touch on, you know, probably West Ham, whatever happens with Leeds. And obviously, we'll have a look in relation to what's happening on Tuesday against Sunderland. So, yeah, appreciate you lot. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. You lot are the key reasons behind the engagement levels. I think about 28, 38 people hit the like button of my last live stream where it's Arsenal and West Ham, and we had good views. I think we got 30k for that, 26 to 30k views. So again, it's because of you lot. You lot support the thing, you lot push it. YouTube recognizes that and the algorithm does such. So yeah, man, the journey to 50,000 on YouTube and obviously 10k on Twitch continues, and appreciate all the support you guys give me. Now we're going to go over Mikel Arteta's press conference. He's spoken about Aubameyang and Pepe. I'm sure you've all seen it already. We're going to talk about Leeds versus Arsenal, and there seems to be some transfer stuff. I say transfer stuff. We're linked with Arthur Melo again. What can I or you say that we haven't said about the individual already? I don't know. How's that Christmas list coming along? How's you lot's Christmas shopping coming along, Greg? PS5, 65-inch TV, new Mercurial Vapors, the new Arsenal drip, another screen monitor, HD preferably, gaming PC, not gaming laptop, gaming PC. Greg, write this down, blood. Everybody listening, write it down. That's the DG Christmas list. Come on. Some bad beat. Let's keep it true. It's too early. It's too early. I mean, Shensia, you get me? Let's stop. Big up you lot, man. Josh, CS, appreciate you lot, man. Man said Christmas break begins today with the man himself. Come on. Sandra, appreciate you locked in. Appreciate the Americans locked in. It's 6:30 a.m. man. I appreciate that, man. You're probably half asleep. DG going to be talking about 250k this time next year. By God's grace, man. By God's grace, man. I'm so happy we are in the top 4 race. I wish the table stayed like this. So would I. I wouldn't say man said Shensi has got his heart. I wouldn't. I think I see a message. Rowan has got you. Wishing you continued health, Sancho, as usual, and on behalf of everyone listening, man. Firm that you tough, right? You got this, man. I don't know if we're in the top 4 race. Obviously, Arsenal. I don't know how we got here in it. December we sit 4th, but we've seen us crumble before. Again, it's down to us to see it till May, and obviously the table is gonna fluctuate. You know, bare people, it's gonna fluctuate. We're gonna go up, we're gonna go down. I say up. How much up can we go? Because Chelsea are still away from everyone, and then it's like Chelsea by themselves. It's a top 2 now. It's not that Chelsea tried to join that top 3 thing. It's just a City and Liverpool one. It's them, and then it's us. So hopefully we can move up and stay where we're staying. But it's gonna fluctuate. We can't keep looking at the table. We need to just do what we do, and then hopefully we'll get where we need to be. Obviously, other people have games in hands. Unless the Premier League rules is changed, everybody's got to play 38 times. So if we do our job, it is what it is. Provided the Leeds game does happen, you know what needs to be said. You know, knowing Arsenal will beat West Ham and then might just mess up mess up against Thingy, mess up against Leeds. But Leeds, again, they're injured, they're bruised lambs for the slaughter. We need to go and do exactly that. You know, they're injured prey in the wild, and we need to be predators in that regards. We need 3 points. I don't care that they lost 7-0. Go and smack them up. They're gonna want to fight back. They're gonna want to see Arsenal as a game that they can turn it around. Let's be honest. Anytime we've gone away from home, evening fixtures, tough grounds, we've struggled. I know we beat Burnley. I know we beat Leicester. Sun was shining them times, and we was kicking off early. It's another night under the lights. And if you're Leeds, you know, people still should fancy Arsenal. This isn't me trying to be negative. If you think about it logically, if you were playing against Arsenal, you'd be disappointed if you don't get 3 points. Arsenal can be a soft touch. You can frustrate them by just, you know, being difficult to break down. Sometimes they switch off. They might not start well for 20 minutes. These are the sort of things we need to show the Premier League that it's not a that thing if that isn't the case. So Leeds, I do think we're going to see a reaction. I don't think it's going to be the same thing. They got smacked against City. We can roll up on that. We need to. You know, we need to smack them up. We need to pick up points. And again, for me, I want to see a performance away from home. You know, we're quite scared on the road. At home, we've built a fortress, but we need to apply what we're doing away from home. We know the 12th man is going to be on top of us. We failed that test against Brentford. We failed that test against United. We failed that test against Liverpool. We failed that test at Brighton. We failed that test at Everton. You know, even if you win, that's still a negative scoreline. Put it right. And again, it's about momentum. The games are coming thick and fast. It's about momentum. Just try and keep things going. Obviously, by God's grace, we beat Leeds on Saturday. That sets us up in a good sort of form and mood and sentiment around the club for the clash against Sunderland. And I don't know if Arteta is going to rotate for the Sunderland game, but we need, you know, the games are coming thick and fast. We've got Norwich at Carrow Road. That's going to be a difficult game as well. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Is that not I lost my trail of thought now, man. Don't even remember, but yeah, it is what it is. We know what to expect with Bielsa, in it. Respectfully, we know what Bielsa's thing is: high intensity, high pressing, you know, method to the madness. You know, never say never. Keep going. You know, they can score goals regardless of the form. We need to take leads. We need to behave like this is the lead side of last year, so we are not complacent. Everything else will take care of itself. You know, score some goals. There's a team that can't keep clean sheets. That's a team that's, you know, lacking in confidence. It's a team that's been plagued with injuries. We need to go and present some problems. Simple as that. Josh has said it won't be a demolition job like City did, but fully confident for a gradual kill, hopefully. Leeds pressed the whole game. They have 8 senior players and really important players out. Anything less than 3 points is failure. Time to start creating space as others have games postponed. Trust me. You know, take advantage. Because as much as other teams can say it's an advantage to have games in hand, that's it. It's assuming you're winning. It's assuming you're going to win them. It's not always as basic as that. So you're right, man. We've been 8 points off the top 4 last 2 years. Three more wins a season is the difference. Again, fine margins. You know, fine margins. This is why, you know, even when we beat Southampton 3-0 or whatever, was it 2-3? I can't remember, and kept a clean sheet. We should focus on the first 20 minutes because that's where the improvements lies. And that's why I was happy in the subsequent game that we've just played against West Ham, because we looked like we started very well. There was an intensity, and sometimes that with Arsenal, we either start well, don't necessarily see that through to the end, as you know, take 20 minutes to wake up and the rest were all right. But games can be done and dusted before that. Let's be real. Southampton could have put us to bed in them first 20 minutes until we scored. They didn't. So it is what it is. But yeah, man. Only thing DG needs for Christmas is for Arsenal to go 50 unbeaten. I would love that, but I wouldn't say the only thing. Have you not heard the Christmas list? There's hella things, bro. Our goal difference being 1 kills me. It's better than negative. Progress, man. Progress. But again, we don't score goals. We are keeping clean sheets, but I wouldn't say we're necessarily a good defensive side. We're making inroads to improve into that, but I wouldn't say we're a good defensive side. Look at the teams we've kept clean sheets against. Look at the times we haven't kept clean sheets, and I feel sorry for Ramsdale. Look at the individual errors or just random brain farts. I'm not trying to criticize or find negativity. That's just an element of our game, or that these players have at 23 years of age. I mean, this ain't a preview where I have to do the tactical thing, bro. At the end of the day, Leeds can't buy a win. Don't let them buy it now, innit? We need to advance up the table. They're steady falling down the table. Leeds indirectly are going to be in a relegation race. Now, I expect an angry Leeds, a hurt Leeds, a Leeds that's going to come out fighting. Like I said, you got to be wary of, you know, endangered animals or if someone's backed into a corner in life. If you back someone into a corner, it's fight or flight. You're going to see a different shade to them because their survival instinct is going to kick in, or they're going to curl into a ball and await whatever fate applies to them. When I look at Bielsa and above all South American passion and them things there, he's not going to just accept his fate. He's going to come out fighting in it. So these are things we need to take advantage. Listen, games in hand. I don't care. I'm just looking at Spurs right now off the top of my head, people. Spurs have enough games in hand. Just focusing on Spurs. We've got a game in hand against Chelsea. Spurs have games in hand. Win the games. Who knows if Spurs, are going to beat Burnley? Who knows if Man United are going to beat Brentford? Now, I expect these teams to win, but again, until these games are played, what would you rather, points on the board or games in hand? On one hand, I'd actually rather the games in hand because you've kind of got a position of power. On the other hand, facts are you've picked up points. These are theoretical points, and as you know, you can't just look at the table and say, "I'm going to grab this, I'm going to grab that, I'm going to grab this and that." Pardon me. So you look at Spurs, enough games, and I don't know when they're going to play these games, and I don't know if there's going to be a fixture pile-up. United got 2 games. They're 2 teams fighting us to get top 4. This is the thing. Leicester are probably slugging it to us as well. Them man have to play each other. So take your opportunities. West Ham, Norwich. Hopefully Norwich fighting relegation can do a little job there. If not, then it is what it is. Hopefully Everton, Rafa Benitez can do us a job in this game in hand against Leicester. Take your points. Obviously, sadly, due to the COVID stuff, due to the COVID stuff, there's only 2 games played this weekend. We know what we need to do from early. We know the eyes and ears and everyone's going to be onto us from early. Win your games. Beat Leeds. Respectfully, Leeds, I'm sorry, but we need to win that, man. If we can do some match fixing, why not? Then obviously on Sunday, provided this happens, hopefully Liverpool, do us a favour against Spurs. You're always hoping Wolves can do something, and hopefully not just so Arsenal can step up the table even more, but if Chelsea draw themselves out and get into a top 4 race as well, then that's 3rd and 4th opened up, which I'm looking forward to. I feel like having more games in hand. I feel like having games in hand is more pressure. Exactly, AM. Really and truly. It's seen as a position of strength, but it's pressure. If you don't win these games, it is what it is. And to be honest, Conte is probably using this time to train more. But there's fixture pile-ups. There's concerns over Spurs already. Like you said, you've got a target on your back, and for us, all the teams that are fighting with us, we've got to take our points. It's as simple as that. And there's not too much in it. You look at the table again. We can't get too excited, but we're in a good run of form. I know there's 2 L's, but we did lose to Cristiano Ronaldo and we did lose to Liverpool. No shame in that necessarily, beyond the obvious. We've got a target on our back. It's all great. We're 4th. It's wavy. Arsenal, we definitely didn't expect this, but it's not me. We go down if we mess about. United are creeping down us. We've got goal difference of 1. So again, several teams are outperforming us in that regards. We are going to drop out of 4th at some times, but this is why we need to win our games. And you look at Leeds. Leeds are fighting relegation, but they got 16 points. I think Leeds will be safe. But what? 1 win in their last 4. It's trash. It's trash. And again, if they don't win, it's brazy. They could go 17th, assuming Watford do a thing. So they're fighting for their careers. Not respectfully, a lot of them Leeds players will not have top Premier League careers if they go down. I don't think Leeds are going down, but I can't lie. It is a bit of an interesting relegation race. Look where Everton are. Bloody hell, mate. Bloody hell. Like, there's not too much in it. Norwich, Newcastle. Bro, this might be the most exciting title race in a hot minute, people. I'm not going to cap to you lot, really and truly. I'm going to say title race, relegation race, but there's bare teams that could go there. Obviously, Norwich are gone. Minus 26. I think Norwich are gone. I want Newcastle to get out, but I just think you man are gone. Burnley, I'd love you lot to go down, but I think Sean Dyche gets them out of there, and probably Watford gets drawn into that. So it is what it is. And also, when you look at Leeds as well, again, folks, they've got 40% squad reduction. It's not really fair. The game really should be played when they're allowed to select a half-decent team. But yeah, I don't know if it's because of COVID or injuries or whatever, but they're missing several people. As you know, Firpo got himself suspended against in their last game, so he can't against City, so he's not playing against us. Shackleton, the young right back, came off injured. We all know, apparently Bamford, Cooper, Phillips, Koch, Schlick, Shackleton, Rodrigo, these guys are missing people. And apparently Rafinha, Taylor Roberts, again, Rafinha and Tyler Roberts can cause problems to ourselves. Llorente likes to play out from the back. That's an area we can exploit from Leeds because his passing is shaky. They've also come through the next 2 games without picking up their 5th they must also come through these next 2 games without picking up suspension, or they make it even tougher for Leeds. So, you've got to be careful, people. You've got to be careful. Leeds on the best of days have a tiny squad, and this is where they're getting at. Sometimes this might be seen as a potential weakness. This could be a potential strength when other people need to stand up to be counted. For instance, you've got former Arsenal player, Greenwood. Joel Gerhardt scored against Chelsea and is quite a physical problem. There's probably never been a better opportunity to play these, man. When you look at what Bielsa has said, he pulls no punches, people. The Yorkshire club suffered the joint heaviest defeat in their history in all comps. They lost 7-0 to us in 1979. He's vexed. He said it was their worst performance in 4 years, people. He's not happy. He said you have to be self-critical. So we need to be wary of a fight back, people. It's the first time he's ever conceded 7. Oh, but it sounds, I'm not going to read all of this, but it sounds quite honest. But you look at how they regress, last season they were 6th for goals, they're 13th. Look where they are, for shots, for goals, for expected shots on target, expected goals. A lot of this plays a part via injuries, but this is where you see it, people. Leeds have picked up 16 points in their 17 games this season. When adjusting to 3 points for a win all-time only in 1930-31, they've had fewer at this stage. Well, he said, last season, we were more stable and more consistent in what we were looking to achieve. We were able to have greater rhythm with a regular team. We were able to get more confidence. So, boy, we'll have to see, people. They spent 130 million on current playing staff. Crazy. So, yeah, man, there's pressure. There's pressure on him in all aspects, man. I'll leave you lot to read that. I'm not really don't really want to read it. I'd rather listen to what you lot are saying. But this is what we need to do. And I guess the only thing left again, from a preview part of you before we carry on with this and get on, I guess it would be the lineup, people. Now, again, the inevitable question. I know Arteta's kind of said it, but would Aubameyang be back in? Where go on for Pepe? Do you bring Smith Rowe? Do you start Smith Rowe? Do you start Odegaard? I don't know, people. Because on one hand, I don't want to ruin Odegaard's form. And to be fair, away from home, he seems to bag in it. I know we bagged at the Emirates last time out, but he seems to bag. And I think Odegaard might do a Mazza. So if we're picking the lineup, people, for this game, again, let's go with red. I think the back 5 picks itself is pretty self-explanatory. And if you don't, you ain't been watching Arsenal. Again, I think they all pick themselves. Again, Tierney reminding you lot he is the top don, no matter how you lot tried to rewrite history. Certain Arsenal fans used to say Pablo Mari was better than Gabriel, another sort of special drug. Benny Blanco, Benjamin White, my centre-back don't need to watch football when he puts in performances like this. And big Tomiyasu, improving going forward. Realistically, got to defend first. So happy to have someone just fucking consistent. Love Tomiyasu. Best in the league now. He's not, but I'm ready to be shameless because we actually have someone half decent, really and truly. In midfield, I can't lie, man. It's a bit of a mixed bag because the last 2 games, I'm not going to lie, Partey and Jacques haven't been bad, but it's been a bit iffy. And I feel not that they haven't been solid, not that there hasn't been good team performances, but you're looking at the midfield pivot and you're like, them and they could be a bit better. I could want to see a bit more and whatnot. People, let me know your predictions, who you want to play and all these things, because this is probably where you lot start to hate me and people say, oh, you really are deluded, or you're not so deluded. Just wish I had £1 for every time I heard that comment. My point is just get paid for opinions, man. But obviously these things pick themselves. I think another self-explanatory one could be Lacazette. I don't think you can drop him. I think Lacazette. I would also go as far as to say Bukayo Saka. They're the easiest ones. That back line is literally the cartel. Trust me, you've got Ramsdale. I'm not even respecting Ramsdale. Sorry, Ramsdale. I didn't even put your name there. I did you dirty. You got Ramsdale, Benny Blanco. The best soldier there is in Gabriel. You don't want to buck into the Flying Scotsman. And Tomiyasu's probably the nice guys, isn't it? You don't know he's a driller until you try to get into your car and it just blows up and them things there. Again, you're right. It is the cartel. What a Netflix documentary that would make. So I think these are the self-explanatory ones. And then I would go as far as to say the left, the right, and the 10 is where everybody starts to disagree with things. certain man are saying Martinelli sub, Martinelli hasn't recovered, Martinelli this, start him, don't start him. Keep your opinions coming, people. But I think this is where almost every Arsenal fan doesn't have a problem. This would be the nucleus of probably our team against Leeds. I think first one off the bat, I can't lie to you. I think because of his performance in the last game, I think that rules out Odegaard and Smith Rowe into the team. I think it's a them two thing. I can't lie, Partey, come on, broski. I think Partey's got a goal. You know what? I think, even though Xhaka did do some silly stuff in the last game, he played all right. And one thing I like about Xhaka, he tries to pass the ball forward, in it. I know that there's an issue in that. So I'd go with that. And I think, this is where, I wish you could have 12 players. I wish you could do the 12 players thing. A part of me feels, because of Leeds' injuries, don't get twisted. When you mention Leeds, they've got intensity and all of these sort of things. So you can't really make too much change. But a part of me feels, could you, maybe take out Xhaka? I don't think he would take out Partey, but maybe take out Xhaka, slap Odegaard there with Partey like we've seen before. Then you get your Smith Rowe in, and then everyone's kind of a winner, winner, chicken dinner and them things there. But I don't think we're going to see that. And I think it's going to be Partey, Xhaka. And I'd probably go, do you know what? If it's up to me, I might try a thing, But at the same time, when we found a bit of stability, do you really want to play around with things? I do think Odegaard and Smith Rowe can work and has worked, but at other times when Odegaard's played here, it's like he's tried to still be a 10 and an 8, and then Smith Rowe is kind of crippled. So I don't know, man. I mean, a part of me feels Odegaard, Partey, and then you bring in Smith Rowe via this, and then everybody's a winner in it, sort of thing. You got your three young demons, your Smith Rowe, your Martinelli, your Saka, Odegaard behind them, Thomas Partey marshalling. You've got your back five. We already know, the Flying Scotsman's going to bomb down that side. Tomiyasu, it's going to take him a while to start overlapping, but eventually he's going to do it and he's going to defend well. Benjamin White is doing quite well. And obviously, he's going back to a ground that he's got good memories. He was on loan there. I'm sure the fans fuck with him and he fucks with the club. Go and put in a performance. Gabriel, you're captain to me. I need you to keep arguing with the ref and everything. So that could be a way to do it. And part of me wants to run that one. I can't lie. I think, respectfully, with Leeds ain't got the Calvin Phillips and things like that. So we could probably afford to be a bit more on the front foot and take the handbrake off. But at the same time, I do think Xhaka gets a bit more out of what's going on the left-hand side with Tierney, and he tucks in and that. So I think that, unfortunately for me, I think that would probably mean Odegaard, even though, again, I want to play 12 players. I do think Odegaard plays well in this and he scores and probably shouldn't be dropped. I just like with Saka, I feel a lot more comfortable with Smith Rowe in this team. I just feel he's a bit more on this. And I'm not going to lie to you, even in the first half, before we scored in our last game, it's not that Odegaard wasn't playing well. When it was quite congested, people, a part of me was just thinking, do you know what? This is a game for Smith Rowe, and I just feel, all right, cool. His groin's been rested. He was on the bench against Southampton. He's come off the bench and scored. I think he's ready to go again. I understand if you say, you know what, Smith Rowe, one more time on the bench. Let's play Odegaard. Start Smith Rowe in the week and get the cobwebs out, and then we move to start Smith Rowe against Norwich next week. I understand it. I get with it. Yeah, I think Martinelli's all right for someone who said that. I think it was just an impacting that Arteta referred to. So yeah, I think my lineup would probably be this, with the exception of what I just said about Smith Rowe staying there, Odegaard being replaced by Xhaka. You could actually maybe even say Partey could come out, Lokonga in, or Odegaard, Xhaka, and Smith Rowe. I know two left-footed people. Someone might have something to say. And I do like getting the left-footers in the team. Who's got more left-footed players on the pitch than us? Probably City, innit? What, Gabriel, Tierney, if you force Odegaard, and then obviously Saka. No one got more left-footed players than us. Might as well throw Tavares there for no reason. But yeah, Ramsdale, Gabriel, Ben White, Tierney, Tomiyasu, Partey, Xhaka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka, and the big man Lacazette. Obviously, I'm jumping ahead a bit, but there's going to be no Aubameyang. Aubameyang still hasn't, he still ain't managed to work on his appeal. He still ain't managed to get bail. He still remains on remand at HMP London Coley, where Arteta, the judge, still hasn't seen him. Due to corona, cases are being pushed back. I guess he will get his case in the Old Bailey in the new year, if I'm honest with you. What are you lot saying? Because I'm doing you lot dirty. I like Odegaard Partey. I like that Odegaard Partey pairing, but Arteta loves Xhaka too much. We need Xhaka in the midfield. Although he's been a bit ropey, he can handle a noisy Ellen Road, I would say such. Our poor record has been partly due to crowds getting to our young players. I hear you, but would you say it's the young players or would you say it's the more experienced? Because at Brighton, it was Odegaard who crumbled and not Smith Rowe. at United, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and I can't even remember if Saka was there, but they stood up to be counted. Fair enough, Tavares was moving mad, but his moving mad came by he was probably a bit too confident. The other players floated, you know, again against Liverpool. Surely it was the older players, you know, even at a push, even though we beat West Ham. It was the more experienced players who started looking a bit shaky. There was a bit of a brain fart from Granit Xhaka in the second half a couple of times. Once he got caught on the ball, and then he played a pass behind Odegaard. And for me, it's like, I think with Xhaka's it's almost, he's been, since he come back from injury, been thrown into the deep end. Like, he got 96 minutes against Everton, he got 80 against Southampton, he got this and that now. So it is what it is, man. In an ideal world, that's solid, but I don't know how Odegaard would play. And that's the thing. When you get the Partey Odegaard pivot against Burnley, it gives you sense. But I can't remember the game. But them two have also been in a pivot together and it ain't worked. It might have been Brighton. Bit harsh on Partey. Partey has an off day, which he does a lot. That pivot's going to be bullied. But if anyone falls off, if we can have Odegaard playing like David Silva in the 8-role, then I'm all in. No, don't change the formation. Play proper pivot players. Odegaard should never play in a pivot. I wouldn't say never, you know, because he's played in it before and he's done it quite well. I like Odegaard partnership. Go for the neck. Don't change what ain't broke. True. I can't lie. We need more drillers in midfield. Facts. Saka, Martinelli is a must trust, especially when you see that second half, especially against West Ham when they raised it. And also, why I want to play them is Martinelli's naive in a good way. It's like, obviously, we know that he's playing well, but he's been starved of football. So he's just off the mindset, boy, I've got a star. I want to hold on to my shirt. I see what Smith Rowe and Saka are doing. The fans are gassing me. I ain't really been playing. I don't want it to end, sort of thing. So there's a reason to play well. And that, we've seen that with Saka and Smith Rowe, and 9 times out of 10, them man are buzzing. They're playing for Arsenal. 10 and number 7, young men and whatnot. Sometimes I like that they can't, you know, it's a severe situation that Arsenal are at and people crumble. But sometimes when you're young and naive, it could lead the way, man. And I think we've got leaders on the pitch. As usual, I'm looking at Ramsdale, Gabriel, Tierney in particular. I do demand a lot from Ben White and Tomiyasu. I think they've got solid groundings. Young players, not the finished article, but Tomiyasu, you've been in Italy. Ben White, you've come to this club in England international. Same with Ramsdale. So I expect a bit more than I would from the slightly younger season, fresh chickens, if that makes sense. Do you think the Premier League is going to be suspended for about 2 weeks? I don't know for time, but I do think we will see suspension. I don't know if Norwich are necessarily gone. They're starting to pick up points here and there. I worry for Burnley, but good riddance to them. And again, you can't really pick them, but it just looks like Norwich need a lot. And I just look at the individual quality. I know it's not always about that, but it's crazy. What happens to Joe Willock if Newcastle go down? Nothing. You stay. That's him, isn't it? If this continues, Tottenham will have 3 matches a week later on in the season. It'll be difficult for their players to stay fit. Not to be bad-minded, but United and Spurs players will probably not hit the floor running once their games proceed. They're still in Europe. Well, United, I don't know what's happening with the Conference League. But yeah, man. Just win the games. Like I said, everybody has to play 38 games, man. DG just needs some Henny. Trust. DG, what's this about Mason Greenwood being on Arsenal's radar? Any truth to it? Or do Edu and Arteta really think they have that much pull? I mean, we do need depth, and I think, you know, Martinelli, Smith Rowe out wide, we do need a squad option, and I think Mason Greenwood would be fantastic backup to such. I'm just trying to piss off any United fans that are here. We got no chance. And if there is a chance, United are I don't know what's over there. They must be picking up the finest of Cali from Moss side. Rashford might be helping them. But if there's ever a future where they're selling their best young player, and for me, their best player excluding Ronaldo, and obviously Pogba's there, they're smoking. Greenwood's a baller and he's only 20. You know, he's closing in. I think he's got 77 appearances in the league. You know, he's a baller. I would love the guy. Bring him, come if that's the case, you know. But I just think, I don't know where that rumor's come out. I don't think it's going to happen, man. At this stage, 15 games played, only 4 teams have had a positive goal difference. City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and West Ham. Never seen it before. And that's probably why they're having better seasons. They're scoring goals and they're keeping clean sheets. We can't say, Arsenal can't say that. 312 of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting that like button. We're still not at 100 likes. Unexpected high bills due. Thing is, why do we need Greenwood? You're moving mad, boy. He's a baller. He could play up front, could play on either wings, and he's a great footballer, and he's gonna be great. Like, you know, imagine having Smith Rowe in reality. Saka, well, I just showed you like this. Could you imagine? Like, it's never gonna happen. But could you imagine this front three, the scary young demons in Saka, Martinelli, and Smith Rowe, and then excluding Lacazette for a sec, slapping Greenwood there? Come on, man. Give that a couple years. That's the best front four in the league. I can't lie to you. If everybody develops. And then you slap some 30 guys behind this. I can't even spell his name, but you slap an hour there. You know, you start dream chasing, innit? The dreams can start happening, or Gimares or something. You start dream chasing, man. But that's a dream, man. Forget Cali, that's Budge. Trust. Oh man, we need a striker in January or the summer. I would, if you're asking me, I'd prefer to wait till the summer to get a striker and sign a midfielder in January. And what I mean by that is, I clearly want a striker in Jan. I just think we're weaker in midfield. If worse came to worse, I know Lacazette's got his contract stuff. Aubameyang's got his, you know, his stuff. Eddie's got his stuff. Balogun's another debate. Martinelli up front. I think we're stronger in terms of options up front than we are in midfield. The options in midfield are very meaty. You know, Partey's form's deserted him really, and he looks like he's feeling sorry for himself. Xhaka is hit and missed on the best of days. El Nene's not levels. You give you one good game a year, really. Respectfully to El Nene. Lokonga's still learning the tricks and trade. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, you might as well leave because, well, you know, the love drama. 1 minute you're in the team, then you're not. If I'm honest with you, any of these midfielders individually, I'm a bit shaky on. Collectively as a pairing, I don't think you've got a single pairing that Arsenal fans could say, boom, if this, no injuries, this could be a pivot for 38 games. We haven't got that. We've got flavour of the month. We've seen Ainsley and Lokonga do a thing. Partey and Xhaka, Partey and Lokonga, Ainsley and Lokonga, Xhaka and whoever, El Nene and various guys. You know, El Nene and Partey, Xhaka and El Nene. But none of it's 30. You know, Liverpool could say if worse comes to worse, you know, they could do it. They could have a midfield trio. Of course, there's little other things they could play around with. City could say they've got a first choice one. Chelsea could say, you know what, Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic, other people, you know, Loftus-Cheek could get in here and there. You can play around with Mount, all of the versatility, but they've got that. We haven't got that. You know, we've got a first choice back five now, a first choice defensive pairing in Ben White and Gabriel. Hopefully Saliba comes to complicate that. We've got quality fullbacks now who I think have really shone in the last 2 games. We've got a certified keeper who opens his mouth now, you know. And then I just think, you know, until you address that midfield, you're going to sign a striker and they're not going to score. You see every game we play, you know, because Partey and Xhaka, for Xhaka, he can't play them passes all the time and he needs a million touches. Partey kind of hides. Neither are them progressive midfielders by trade. So when our defenders are progressing with the ball, these lot are not showing. There's an imbalance. That's why we have to force things. Sometimes overhit it to Saka, hit it to Martinelli, focus on that left-hand side. That's why more time you see our players dropping. Is it any coincidence towards the end of the first half in our last game against West Ham and subsequently from the start of the second half, we faced a lot better. Our players are further up the pitch. You know, Saka is next to Masaku and they're trying to, they can't double up and triple up against him again. Tomiyasu is getting forward. Tierney's getting forward. Smith Rowe, Lacazette, these guys are staying. Martinelli, they're staying further up the pitch. It's not football, not rocket science. You stay closer to the opponent's goal, you're going to score. And I think there's a common theme. You see that. And I think even when we won against West Ham, you see that our midfield isn't levels. And you see, you know, again, and you see how it is. We're not going to do anything certain until that midfield's addressed for me. Oh, fans wanted to run bullshit, man. Can you imagine splashing out for Haaland? And apart from Football Manager, no. Definitely Greenwood would be acute, but can Arteta handle his development? I don't know. DG, don't gash yourself and us like that. Aye, man, it could be wavy. It could be wavy. This is the thing about Arsenal. We're always 2-3. Let's remove Greenwood. We're always 2-3 away. Like, we will sign a midfielder, but we ain't got a partner. We'll sign a centre half and then his partner shit. We'll sign the centre halves and the midfield shit. You have a good left back. You have a shaky right back. You have a good right back. You got no left back. You have the back four. You ain't got a keeper. You got a keeper. You ain't got the defense. You finally got a back five. There's question marks over the midfield. And I just feel there's a lot more to scoring goals than just signing new man, because if we're real with ourselves, the same problems over creativity. We've got Smith Rowe and Odegaard now. We're saying the same things when Ozil was here. We're saying the same things about midfielders, with the exception of Xhaka, definitely not our people. You know, Different strikers are playing, and we can't say Lacazette, Balogun when he's played, Eddie when he's played, or even Aubameyang, as poor as they might have been or whatever, are creating chances. You know, as much as I'm seeing us go forward at times, as much as it's about signing new players, I need to be able to say, is it as black and white as we sign a striker and we score goals? No, because I don't think we know how we're creating. Until we fully comprehend our first line of defense is this striker, and Ramsdale is our first attacker, we're going to be in problems. That's our defense. That's where defending starts. That's where the attacking starts. And you've seen it on occasion when we've progressed moves from Ramsdale up the pitch, but it's not often enough, really and truly. Ironically, you also saw a number of wavy Ramsdale passes into Lacazette at times as well. But typically, it don't look like we have a plan. Typically. And what I mean by overcompensating is cool. Ramsdale will get the ball. The fullbacks might pull out. You know, the fullbacks will well, in fact, let's actually do that. The fullbacks will pull out. Xhaka will do his thing here. 9 times out of 10, Partey is looking to receive. And then once it goes into defense, there's an imbalance because again, if you once it goes into the midfield from the defense, there's an imbalance because if we slap some rivals on the field, just to paint a proper picture for you guys, people, hit the like button and set your reminders for tomorrow if you haven't. You know, other teams have low blocks and we can't break them down. You know, we can't break down low blocks. We struggle with that. Let's just go for a 4-4-2 just because it just looks a bit easier to explain. You know, 2 banks of 4, and then you've got your 2 strikers behind the ball. And then obviously these man, Xhaka can pass, but your skill set is not to break down a defense. That's not you. Partey, people were there waffling, he can break down defense. He's got a bit more about him. He can pass the ball. Stop fucking blurring the lines. Partey's a good player. He's extremely limited. You know, win the ball back, be a box-to-box man. Anything you do beyond that is a benefit and is a bonus. But again, this is one reason, on top of Partey playing poor, I think he's struggling because he's gone from just clearly having 2 jobs to do or something at Atletico, pass it to them Colca's, a more collective man, to we're expecting him to be a 6, be an 8, and do all of this stuff. And on top of him being poor, this is why a man's confidence is shot. But away from making this a Partey pity party, which he needs to improve, you can't go from bullying Liverpool at Anfield for Atletico to looking like a scared pussycat. I can't lie to you. But this is what I mean by overcompensating. These men can't get the ball and always turn on it and find passes consistently. So again, this is where the problems start happening. You've got them 2 showing. These defenders are quite progressive on the ball. But again, there's no midfielders. This is where the balance happens. And then Tomiyasu's narrow more time. You know, Ben White barely passes to him, as he said. Again, these lot are having to force it. They're having to force it. And naturally, what are you going to do if you're more of a technical footballer and there's a gap and you can't get onto the ball and we can't break down this low block? If you're Odegaard or Smith Rowe, like you saw with Odegaard, you're going to drop. You know, Tierney's going to have to drop. You know, Saka's going to have to drop, like you see with him. Lacazette is going to have to drop. And then we start, you know, to be fair, you know, Martinelli has stayed up there on occasion, but again, he can't fight by himself. He's going to have to drop. Then the other team's going to get further up the field. We kind of do it to ourselves as much as other people do it to us. So this is why I think I want a midfielder before we go out there and grab, you know, a striker. Again, we need both, but again, if I was out there, I'd be happier with my attacking options. I do think you could get a tune out of Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, all of these guys, regardless of it. I don't think you can get more of a tune out of the midfielders. It's got to the point. I know you man are limited, so I can't ask no more questions. I can't. Like, you're too limited. You know, it's way too limited. I mean, we'd love Bellingham, but I'm gassing you lot, man. I'm gassing you lot. I made you lot dream. But that's what Arsenal love. We love being 2-3 away from stuff, man. We love unfinished puzzles. We love unfinished projects. Bro, they can't do it. They're limited, bro. Partey's never going to be that guy. Xhaka needs 1 million touches. Respectfully, if this is the territory, I'm not trying to get at them. Who knows, DG? Haaland might know Odegaard's family and that, bro. He can know his family. He can go for Sunday dinner. He could be going out with, you know, Odegaard's older sister or younger sister or whatever, bro. He's not signing for Arsenal. I want to be wrong. I hope you lot clip this up and say, what did you really are deluded? Haaland signed for Arsenal. You man are smoking. Like, no matter who he knows, no matter what Odegaard tells him, it's a fucking myth. Like, get that one out, you lot's head. You needed to sign man when he was in his dad's ball sack, or sign him when he was under 12s, or sign him when Ollie was chatting to him about him at Mulder. Or in hindsight, you should have signed him at the under 20 World Cup when him and Lautaro Martinez were there. You know, you had a chance maybe in the first 6 months at Salzburg. Now it's a myth. Of course, I see hunger in Greenwood. Boy. Thoughts on Kulusevski? Baller, bring him to the carpet, man. This is it, bro. Partey's a limited baller, man. This is what fans do. But every player we sign, we start blurring lines. Xhaka, we started blurring lines. I can't lie, I was one of them. We was getting gassed. Euros times, he was getting gassed. You know, we was flirting and seeing what is he going to bring. You know, De Jure, the ex-Arsenal players telling us he's like Pirlo and that. We start always blurring the lines, you know. Whenever we sign a player, they can do this and that. They can play here and there. Like, they're jack of all trades. They're not masters of any. For me anyways, let's let these young lads lock down one thing first and then start doing the adaptable thing. Obviously, a couple of them have to play in other roles, but yeah, man. Bro, they got Partey is not an 8. The closest he gets to being an 8 is a box-to-box midfielder. He can pass a ball, he can do things, but you can't expect him to do it all the time, bro. He's limited. And when I say limited, that doesn't mean it's a disrespect. He's limited. So just do what he does well and leave him at that. At Arsenal, it feels too much like we'll sign a player and say, you know what, boy, you're here now, work it all out. You know, a bit like Ozil, you're here, work out all the creative stuff. We sign a centre back every year, apart from this year, and we look at our defending and say, yo, well, go on for it, sort of thing. So yeah, man, that was a long time stamp. Should we see what Mikel Arteta has had to say about Aubameyang and Cole, people? Make sure you're hitting the like button and also setting your reminders. Again, one love to the 13 of you who have hit that like button so far on the watch along thing. Big up yourself, Andy Romero, listening to DJ in the car on the motorway to Madrid. Stay safe, Andy. I don't know how the whole city, how the whole country, of Spain is or what Madrid's like, but I did see there's corona cases rising in Spain. So stay safe. And obviously, you've seen Real Madrid are suffering with something. So yeah, man. Odegaard is strictly a playmaker. Cam Smith-Rowe's game is a bit different. I wouldn't necessarily call him a playmaker. He's an odd one for me to define. They're both playmakers for me. Nah, Thierry, I respect that. I'm talking about on the watch along one, my guy. If you don't know what I'm referring to, this thing. But yeah, let's see what Mikel has had to say. Big up yourself, Andy, man. Big up everyone locked in, man. I know it was a report, but a young version of Yaya would complete this team. But how many players could be Yaya good? Exactly, but it's a scouting thing. We sign new scouts, you know, we're looking at we sign new scouts in Spain and France. Make sure you're unearthing them dons in it. But Mikel Arteta on the Premier League's COVID situation. Obviously, this is his press conference. I'm just scrolling quickly to see that everything is here. Sorry, folks. Yeah, there's more stuff he's spoken about as well. I think he actually spoke about Jack Wilshere playing in the Prem. Scrolling all the way up, people. On the health of the team. Again, I don't know what's going on with my browser. What the fuck is that? We are good. We are waiting for more tests, which we will have this afternoon. And this is the only thing we can do, wait and see. On the general fitness of the squad, we had a couple of issues at the weekend, but we'll train today and see how everyone is feeling. On how concerning we all know it's concerning, innit? On sticking with the leadership group, yes, as I mentioned yesterday, it's been going for months, and I'm really happy with them. On having two former captains in the squad affecting things, I always believe, and in a lot of things where I've been, we've always had a group of players that were responsible for making decisions in the dressing room and communication in the coaching staff, the club, and to transmit our supporters. At the end of the day, that decision was transmitted by one person. It was the captain, but the decision wasn't made by one person. On how close the team is getting to where he wants to be, the last two performances have been really good in what we want to achieve in matches. The results we have had, again, this is terrible, have got, and the way we have dominated those games, but we need to be more consistent in that over 10 months to achieve the goals that we want, which is to be the best, and we are not there yet. On whether all the players were negative in the last round of tests, yes, but this is changing every day, and that uncertainty that we all have, hopefully we don't have any more cases, but we'll have to wait and see. On whether there have been more positive cases among staff, we've had issues in the last few weeks, like everyone has had. We are not an exception, and we are trying to manage that as well as possible. That's what we are trying to do. listen, I don't want to keep talking about we all know it's a dangerous climate to be playing in. We all wish everybody's health. We all wish everyone good mentally. So forgive me, people. I'm going to skip the COVID related things. On Thomas Frank calling for a break, he said, I know there are people that know much more than I do and find out what the best solution is to find out if we should keep playing within the rules that we have at the moment or to stop. I don't know. It's not something I want to give an opinion on because I'm not a scientist. I'm not a specialist. We have to rely on the government and the Premier League to make the best decision. You really think the Premier League, when clubs are begging them to postpone games? Myth. On whether Aubameyang is available for selection, no, he is not available for selection. On whether Aubameyang has a future at the club, for this game, he's not available for selection. So once again, there is more to this, and Arteta is done with him, really and truly, at least to me anyways, because he hasn't said anything, but crucially, he hasn't said anything, and this is, sometimes he's asked stuff, and you can throw the book at Aubameyang, but just leave it at that, it isn't that, I don't get the vibe of, all right, cool, he slap on the wrist, whatever comes his way, he needs to deal with it, but there could be light at the end of the tunnel. This tells me he's rubbed out. Like, he's rubbed. There's been a couple of times where he could squash speculation. Once again, anything you do not say is taken as interpretation, people. And just like a lot of his language around Aubameyang, he's been quite blasé, and that is intentional. I'm not begrudging it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying where it is, well, it is, people. Let's hit the like button if we haven't. So yeah, for this game, he's not available. And it's a test for Aubameyang to just keep doing what you can. Again, I was trying to scroll down, man. This is very COVID dominated, man. On whether the young players have matured into men, yeah, they have. Forget the football. They've had to become young men, Saka's World Cup one day, and he's gone from being an academy player to the whole world talking about you. Smith Rowe, the same. So they had to. He said, well, they are contributing immensely to the performance and results of the team. That is true. It is because they earn it, and it's because they have other senior players around that have been really supportive and helpful. The club has to believe in them, and having been given opportunities, they've taken those opportunities. So credit to them. On whether it's fair for some teams to be playing this weekend, I mean, again, respectfully, I know COVID's a part of this, but it's clearly a dominated one. On how big a test the last week has been for him as a manager, well, every time you're sitting here, you have some challenges. You have some brilliant moments. You have some moments where you have to make decisions. I'm sitting here to try to make the best decisions, every day. My only intention is to get the club back to the best possible condition, to defend our players, and to get the best performance and results on the pitch as we can. It's very challenging because those decisions are tough and not pleasant, but you have to do what you feel is right. On what Aubameyang needs to do to get back into the team, well, he's not available for Leeds. This is the situation right now. Fucking hell, blood. This is it. On whether the Aubameyang situation has any impact on Lacazette's future at the club, Alex's performances, involvement, and commitment is without question. It's not related to his contract situation. I discussed it in the summer with him, what the situation was. We are both clear on that. Our situation is something similar. So, Arteta has been very blasé. He has told you exactly how he feels with Lacazette. He's left nothing there. The only thing that's speculation for me is that there is no contract on the table. But neither party knew that a contract wasn't happening. On Laka becoming increasingly important to the team, he's always been important. It's a squad game. He's always been a really important player. And since we've been together, he's played a lot under me. I've always been impressed with him. On his importance to the club, but that's the same thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's literally the same thing. I mean, big company like Arsenal, every day there's mistakes. On Martin Odegaard's contribution, he's very, very young, but he already has a lot of experience in different clubs in international football. I agree that in the last few weeks, he's getting close to his best level. The ceiling for him, I don't know where it is. With the talent that he has and the desire that he has, how much he wants to improve and get better, we've got a tremendous player here. I agree. On him being part of the leadership group, he's a natural leader. If you look for the perfect professional, he wouldn't be very far from that. I get it. I hear it. But can we just have a captain who's... everyone's got to lead by example, but can we have a more conventional captain? I think we've tried the whole mavericky talents. Maybe let's just let Odegaard just be a normal leader or part of the leadership group, and Tierney and them man be the captain. On reflecting on those last 2 years, I could write a few books with everything that's happened, not only to me, but around the football club, around the world in the last 2 years. Why don't you? So we can know exactly about Ozil and now Aubameyang. I don't know. Probably one day I need to stop and think carefully about what happened and the experience that you take, but it's been a lot. Bearing in mind, Mikel Arteta has been here for 18 months. pardon me, or close to 2 years, and he's got 18 months left on his deal. He needs to sign a new deal soon if they're going to keep him. We haven't discussed anything like that. I think we have other priorities at the moment that are far more important. On whether that will be at the end of the season, it should be, provided you do the job. I don't know. Really, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just trying to get the best out of the team, trying to cope with all the situations that we are facing at the moment. Things will happen naturally. On Nicolas Pepe, he said, with all the players who are not getting a lot of minutes at the moment, obviously with the amount of games we've got, there's not enough room for all those players. With Nico's situation, it's something similar. I've highlighted on many occasions, it's based on what I see every day. That's with Nico as well. But he needs more opportunities to show what he can do in the last few games. He hasn't had them. So he hasn't been given opportunities. But that, Arteta's a stickler for training. You haven't been training well in the same way Martinelli's done something in training to convince him. On the reaction to why Pepe isn't playing, I understand. I have to try to make that decision on what I see every single day. And to be fair, Nico is really winning and really willing to help the team. The reality is that the position he plays, Bakar has been playing regularly there and has been fantastic. So it's not easy for him to find that time. And that maybe tells you he doesn't really fancy Pepe on the left. On Jack Wilshere's standard in training, first of all, it's great to have him around. He's the type of character who adds special feeling to the club. He comes in every day with a smile on his face, trying to do his best. His talent is unquestionable. When you see him in training, I think you had some players say he's the best in training. So he has that. Now he's doing his coaching badges, and it's completely up to him what the next step in his career will be. And we are here to support that. On whether he could play in the Premier League, yes, 100%. I've seen that. I can tell that he has that. On whether that would be for Arsenal, that's a different story. So that tells you everything, people. So no clue. What the fuck is all of this on my screen as well? This has been here this whole morning. I don't know what Google Chrome's playing at. Just some special feature, but yeah, that's that. Thanks for your support. Very smart, very little smart one from the club there, but that's that. And I mean, we learned a lot there. Well, he said a lot and said nothing. What do you lot make of that? I think he was pretty damning with Aubameyang's one. Like even he shedded a lot of clarity on Pepe's one. He said next to nothing about Aubameyang. So that tells you there's something deeper. This tells me there's something. This is the straw that broke the camel's back, and it's the beginning of the end. Obviously, things can change. If there's injuries and Aubameyang has to be selected and he scores, he makes himself a poster boy. I don't like how, in Aubameyang's defense, I don't like how overnight he's just become public enemy number one, and he's just become this shit person to many people. But on the other hand, there's no smoke without fire. Mikel Arteta, the games are coming thick and fast. If you fuck up fourth place or get in Europe from now, your job's gone. So you need to pick people you can rely on. So it's a testing period for Aubameyang, considering AFCON's round the corner. But it is what it is, really. And it's a squad game, really. So I wouldn't write off anyone. But yeah, I think he was very damning on Aubameyang. He kind of left the door open to Pepe. He said, about Aubameyang, you're not involved, bro. You're not involved. Who don't hear must feel in it. And Arteta is making that the case, man. He's capping. If Saka gets injured, Pepe ain't playing. Man like Eddie will be used. How you doing, bro? Good to be here watching. Joey, I appreciate you. Hope you and everyone's safe. Whenever I'm sad, I just look at that Saka Smith Rowe celebration on the Smile Trust. Wenger inspired. I'm really starting to love the team. Listen, I love Arsenal Football Club, man. I hate you lot sometimes, but that's what hate is, a form of love, man. I could never snake you lot. Obviously, when we have results like the last two games, it's amazing. Laka is a leader, but Oba is on mute. Why can't our players leave normally for once? You're asking a lot, man. I don't know. Totally different injuries, different energy. He's definitely going to be in the squad. I'm worried that reports from the investigated journalists about some Arsenal players do helium balloons and Oba's just lack of... I mean, all these footballers are doing all them things there, man. Aubameyang is done. He must have done a lot behind the scenes to pee him off. Oba's my guy, but I don't give a fuck about this saga no more trust. So, listen, it'd be a shame for him to go, but it is what it is. Oba must be moving brazy behind the scenes. Oba is coming back. Let's stop the hype. Leadership groups are cool when you have a bunch of leaders. It doesn't quite work when you have a disgraced former captain in your leadership group. It's just PR. It's disgraceful that Xhaka is included. Boy, smash the like button. Pep's press conference today was cancelled because he returned an inconclusive result on his COVID test. Fucking hell. And again, we're wishing everybody good health and that people think... Do you know what it is? People don't understand that, You can be a defensive mid without being a defensive mid. Like you can be a defense. You don't need a defensive mid. And also, just because you're the deepest doesn't mean you're a defensive mid. I think the lack of clarity around what Xhaka is didn't help at all, man. He wants to move them both on, but this just tells you, you know what, Lacard, the way you're moving and the way my man's moving is two different ones. He clearly wants to move him on. Really, the club needs to move on from Lacazette and Aubameyang. And what I mean by that is, you know, they're elephants in the room. You know, none of it screams longevity. When you've got Xhaka playing week in, week out, and his future is always at a knife edge. When you've got Aubameyang and Lacazette, just in terms of age and consistency, aren't getting any better or ain't got time on their hands, it unbalances the team. I can't, as much as I like the new defenders that have come in, you got the Halem boys and Martinelli popping up, you know, the spine of the team in midfield, the midfield spine to the attack, it's not, there's not really something there. Big up the people from Vietnam and the Vietnamese that are locked in. As a Leeds fan, I'm really not looking forward to this game. I'm not sure, man. I wouldn't say that. I don't think it's going to be quite easy, man. I hope it is. I hope you know, I hope your fears are reality, but I don't know for none of that, my guy. Man. So what else has been said in relation to Arsenal? We've been linked with Arthur Mello, if that helps anyone once again. But then ones there just keep getting recycled. Boy, it's peak for Aubameyang, boy, it's peak. But things would be very different, you know. If you are a top goal scorer and whatnot, things would be very different. I don't blame him, Kai. When your form's like this, it makes easy to discipline. It makes it easy to discipline. How many youths in school? Like I used to get away with a lot. I wasn't the smartest kid, but I used to get away with a lot because I was half decent at stuff, innit? Like, but then when you got the real bad breed kids, when you're just fucking stupid and be misbehaving, you ain't got a leg to stand on. They're gonna get rid of you. Like PE, I would act up. I'm still playing for the school. The only time I wasn't allowed to play for the school team is when I done too much of a madness. And to be honest, I look back, I was a bastard at times. I remember once we played Highlands, I couldn't play due to behavior. I went on the other side with Highlands. I was cheering on Highlands, but Highlands, I say they were for 90 minutes. I'm cheering them on, I'm scoring, I'm running on the pitch, shouting with. I don't even know these brothers. I'm jumping up with them, and I was a great day bastard, man. I was a cunt. If we play the way we did with Western, we got to give Leeds 6. I don't know. When did we play the music, Ben? DG, what do you think about Inaki Williams and El Nasri? I mean, I I don't know too much on El Nasri, but I like what I've seen from him. Inaki Williams bringing for the squad, but would you give Xhaka a 1-year contract for depth? To the end of the season if it gets to that, but I'd rather just bring in the midfielder, bro. I don't know who Weston is, bro. I swear Arsenal playing musicians and that. Mad thing. No, I'm playing my guy. If we do play the same way as we did against West Ham, we should have half a chance. But coulda, woulda, should, half of these variables, they're completely different when football's being played, man. It's completely different, man. Lord God, crypto is bleeding. Jesus Christ. Hey DG, why you no longer go to AFTV no more? Miss you from there, especially supporters club. Stop putting onions, man. They gotta call me in it. No one don't shout DG again. Like what? Don't shout, man. Man, don't shout, man. So what do you want man to do, bro? I can't hang around like no bad smell, blood. This COVID getting mad again. I think this game will end up getting called. Tests for our players meant to be coming back this afternoon. But let's hope not, man. Let's just hope first and foremost everyone's safe. Big up deluded. I think Aubameyang's days are numbered. Deep down, we know Aubameyang is not disciplined and, in my opinion, not a leader or a captain. I do think he's a leader. Shouldn't be the leader, but I do think he's a leader. And his days should be numbered anyways. And just have to move, man. We just have to move. You know, we should have rubbed him out just based on form anyway. So, and I speak for myself, but I'm pretty sure there's people who feel like me. Bro, I'm tired of the love dramas. Like, I have great sympathy for Arteta and Aubameyang. I think they're both right and wrong. I've got all the opinions in the world, but I don't care. My only priority is Arsenal are fourth right now. It's not me. How are you going to see that through to the end, or anything less than fourth to sixth? I'm looking at Arteta and these players a bit shaky, you know. So it's one of them ones really. It's one of them ones. If I'm honest with you, like I haven't got the energy to care. Like We should move for Emmanuel Dennis an hour in Jan. Watford are going to ask for a pretty penny. He was an Arsenal fan, though. Boris can't stop the watch-alongs, trust. Hope not. What are we going to do? How are we going to pay bills? DG's energy makes Don Robbie nervous. Nah, man. Robbie's cool, man. I don't think so. Robbie, your money, man, though. He knows how to make cha-ching. Maybe, you know, DG ain't going to make him cha-ching. So it don't make sense, innit? But yeah, man, shout out Robbie. Big facts about Xhaka. Whether you like him or not, there were certain things we've asked where he's done it, no complaints for the team, even though he has no reason to be there, like playing centre back. I mean, his mentality is facts, but shit, DG rolling with the ops, 100%. Well, 100%, bro. I'm a grade A bastard. Like, I'm on this Eddie Guerrero thing. I'm a nice guy, but Pepe, I'm from the school of thought with Pepe, Casemiro, Chiellini. It's dark arts. You've got to be nasty. You've got to be a villain, man. Love for that, Jay. The Congo is going to be a baller. He is going to be a baller. But to become a talented swimmer, you got to almost kill yourself once or twice, I'm sure. You know, can you be a skilled swimmer or a skilled sailor if you're just, you know, if you're not in strong currents? I always say for these young players, you know, when you're learning how to swim, obviously, at a point, you can swim in the shallow. You can drown in any water, but you can swim in the shallow end, car. You can stand up. You get thrown in the deep end, you're going to struggle at times. And this is what happens with these footballers. That's like Balogun. For as much as man gas Balogun, the deep end was Brentford. You're going to drown. Car, you ain't been there before. You know, you're going to need to learn how to tread water. A lot of people talk about potential, but they don't talk about the steps to get there. It's much like in life. You might see someone who's built a business or done something great, and you're like, wow, they're amazing. It feels like it's happened overnight. But then you look at their story, they've been doing certain things for years. You know, it takes 10 years or something, I think they're saying, is to become a overnight success. I don't know about more knowledge on anyone than AFTV, and I don't know about more or less knowledge than Turkish. Surely, I'm comfortable in my own skin and in my own, you know, in my own brain. I know what I know. I know what I don't know. I know I love the game. Bit of backhanded compliment, don't you think, TM? DG, you realize Laka listed Sambi as a captain. I mean, he didn't exactly list him. He highlighted his captaincy qualities, and I think we all have. I mean, one big song and dance we spoke about is, you know, he's captain Anderlecht. Nah, I'll never threaten to score on goals, but it's bastardry. I can't bring myself to score on goals, but, you know. I mean, once I clapped the teacher's phone as well. Like, yeah, all right, say nothing. Remember, I walked past, like, swear down. The room's open, phone's on the side. Okay, that's gone. Okay. Hey, let me stop. Like, all right, you gonna let me out the team? Say nothing. That shit. Mr. DePino, my bad. Years later, my bad. Mr. Bertra as well, my bad. Steve, my bad. P dressing rooms, don't trust me. My bad. Hold that, man. Certain man need floaties, they probably do. Laka is a better captain than Oba. You never see him soak on the pitch. I hear that. Miss Vargas, she never got clapped. But at the same time, if we go back last season when Laka looked to shadow of his former self and they called him a defensive mid, what would have been said there? My point being, you can say, I'm not saying you, but you could say Aubameyang and Laka are good or bad captains. One thing I find a bit crazy is it's very subjective, because when Aubameyang was contract problems and he was scoring, man was saying he's got a great attitude. He, you know, look how Alexis was carrying on, this and that. All of a sudden, he's a bad egg. Now, I'm not saying, you know, there's not good or bad senses, but yeah, man. I think the reason Sambi has been out is to avoid suspension. He's still young, bro. He's still young. He's still learning, you know. He needs to adapt to the intensity of the Prem. He needs to, as a midfielder, you need to know 10 years before it's happened what you want to do. Deluded, my man. Other people than Arsenal fans need to put respect on Smith Rowe's name. If you take out Pence, he's got as many Premier League goals as Ronaldo. Proof the man's a baller, and he did score from outside the area. You know, people need to respect him, but me, I barely care what Arsenal fans think. Let alone other fans. You know, I'm at the point, bro. Who cares, innit? If everybody knows Smith Rowe's a baller, he's a baller, innit? The outside noise is what it is. People can keep underrating Arsenal players as much as they want. It's good for us, man. I don't think it's got nothing to do with the bag, but again, I can't say that, you know, since he's got the piece, it's looked iffy. Just seen this on Twitter, AFTV asking, who would you rather, Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison? Brazil bias Richarlison, but it probably makes more sense for Arsenal to get Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But I'd rather Richarlison. And Naki is Toure without juice. Crazy how people want Dennis at Arsenal now. It's so ish at every team to this year. A bit harsh. What's your predictions on the score? I'm going to say a greasy 2-1, a shaky 2-1. Tommy Ash is going to have to clear some shots off the line. Ramsdale's going to have to pop off a couple passes. There's going to be a couple shakiness. In between, we're going to play some lovely team moves. Saying that, I would love the classic 3-0 clean sheet, 3 goals. You know, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Saka, you man get the goals. You know, Lacazette, it'd be nice for you to score after that missed pen. But it is what it is. DJ, I've always hoped No Europe this season would help us, particularly during the second half of the season. Do you think this will help us push for fourth? I mean, in theory, but a lot of song and dance was said about, no Europe and things. And, even with playing Europe once, there's been times we look like we're off it. So, again, I guess for other teams, it could play a part because there's fixture pile up. Some teams are in Europe and some teams obviously seeing their games rescheduled. Then you got AFCON. Then there's probably going to be other injuries and talking points. It could help us, but I just think it's a lot deeper, man. I think if we want it, we'll get it. If we don't, we won't. It's down to us to remain consistent, to forgive ourselves when we drop points and to maximize when we cannot drop points. Really and truly, everyone's going to drop points. We're going to drop points again. We're not going to win every game from now to this season. It's about minimizing them. Hey. I mean, the one thing how Arsenal react to going to go down makes the difference. But the one thing I actually liked with Arsenal against West Ham is, and to a degree Southampton, is that when we're scoring these goals, how many times we've set back. Now we look like we smelt a bit of blood. We wanted more goals and things. Bro, Aubameyang saved his job. Pepe saved what any bit of the season last season at the second half he could. But it's man, forget these things. I don't understand people who hate Leno, but I would say hate's a strong word, but Leno's never been good enough in my opinion. At times he's been the best of a bad bunch. I do think he was unlucky in that he never had a stable defense. I don't think he was the biggest problem, but he's, the one thing I like about I said it about Martinez, and I always say it, it's nothing to do with getting at Leno. I just like I don't really like the eccentric keepers. That's just me. I like my keeper to look like a goalie, innit? Obviously Ramsdale has a bit of eccentricity about him, but I just think Leno was very trigger happy to punch, come off his line. Ramsdale's a bit more calming, especially in games where we're under it. There's been times where we're under pressure, and Leno, I can tell you're making them man nervous as well because you're doing nervous things. Ramsdale doesn't quite do that much like when Martinez was here. It's like you're a goalie. And I think their distribution is better. Clearly, Ramsdale's distribution is better than Leno's, but Ramsdale doesn't force things. When it's time to go long, he will go long. When it's time to play short, of course, he's not perfect. And this ain't me trying to get at Leno because I think Leno's been a good keeper for Arsenal. It's just, man, ultimately not quite levels, man. Next 2 games are so important to keep momentum. If we go and lose both, we are right back to where we started. I mean, that's typically Arsenal, swings and roundabouts. It's down to them to not have that. Leno's got a groin knock or something. I mean, the team is playing better without Aubameyang because, again, if Aubameyang's not scoring goals, it's irrelevant. If him and Lacazette, on their day, I think Aubameyang's better than Lacazette because strikers are meant to score goals. Aubameyang would score goals. Lacazette can press as much as he wants, link up play. These are all added bonuses and stuff that we, including myself, overcompensate with Lacazette because he's not a historically good goal scorer at this football club. But at the same time, Aubameyang, Lacazette, if you throw them both for football, Lacazette's got more to his skill set. And if they're not scoring, then Lacazette's better. Lacazette finds us balance. Lacazette was amazing against West Ham. So good we're letting him off with the penalty miss. He was amazing. It helps better balance the team. There's been times Laka has unbalanced the team. There's been times both of them in the team has found balance. Both of them have unbalanced it. This is why you need different things. Leno is really good on his line. I don't know what you mean on his line. That's where keepers are meant to be. I don't think so. I think he's too trigger happy to come off it, or he takes too long to come on it. I think there's a lot of goals which I didn't blame Leno because teams have walked through us, but then you're just thinking, could Leno have done better? It's to his near post and all these things. I just think Ramsdale's better than man. Like I just think Ramsdale and Martinez is better than man. Like just quality better than man. I wish we could fuse them both into one, but that's not how the cookie crumbles, man. I'm sure some of the galley probably thinking they wish they could fuse me and Anthony Joshua together, and you know the thing, innit? Some of you baby mums, I know you're blushing. Hi, you know it is what it is, but it can't happen like that. Leno's a fantastic shot stopper, but even the shot stopping things are overrated, because if you're saving a shot and I'm palming it into the striker to score a tap in, am I a good shot stopper? And I'm not trying to make this getting at Leno, because Ramsdale isn't perfect. You know, I love Ramsdale, but there's many shaky elements. His positioning is going to get him in trouble once upon a time. You know, him and Ben White had a little brain fart a couple games ago. You know, Xhaka bailed him out against Spurs. There's going to be a period where these things, you don't get bailed out and there's mistakes, you know. And that's why I think Ramsdale will be all right, because everybody had something negative to say about him. Everybody loves him now. There's going to be a period where it's not working. Everybody loved Leno. Leno went through a bad period. Smith Rowe's gone through a bad period. Everyone loves him again. Man was saying take Smith Rowe out the team. He's not good and this and that. You know, Saka the same. You know, Saka the same. Martinelli the same. It's not always the honeymoon period. Arteta, you know, for a while, Arteta, you know, then fans were getting onto him. Man said, hey, chill, you're making man blush. Yo. Bro, if Lacazette could score 20 league goals, he'd be amazing, bro. You lot don't ever think I'm a hater. Like, I fucking love Lacazette. It's just, man can't rely on you to score goals. Yeah, Leno's 28, man. You know, I think Ramsdale's better than him. I'm just saying, you don't take this as me trying to get at Leno and praise Ramsdale. Ramsdale's got a lot to work on. 23 is a young man as a footballer, much less a keeper. He's not going to be the finished article, but I love it. It's a good base to play upon. And I just think Ramsdale looks like he believes in himself. I do think sometimes Leno has looked too confident or not confident at all. And I don't know Leno as a person, but he just seems a bit too smug on a football pitch for me. Passion. But then again, I could play devil's advocate. I just think in football, not Ramsdale, but I just think you could be shit and fans could love you, because I think you could be a captain in today's day and age, right? You could be a captain. I could be, let's say we all play for the same team. I could be just shouting the wrong instructions. I'm actually chatting shit. I'm actually making you lot play worse. But because man see me shouting and pointing and doing all of this, man are going to say I'm talking sense. It's like managers. The minute managers start doing all of this and 4-4-2, they might be chatting shit. Players might be looking at them like, what are you not doing? But because fans are seeing that and jumping up on the touchline, it's very easy to pander to what fans think they're seeing, you know. Leno wasn't commanding exactly. The main thing that I feel Martinez had over them, and Martinez and Ramsdale, they like to catch. Leno's on a punching wave too much. I'm not really on it, man. Hey DG, great content yet again. My question to you is, who would be your ideal striker and midfield player you want to see us join? I mean, I would love Alwa or Gimares or something like that, you know. Striker, we can't grab the strikers I want. Like you can't get. We're not gonna get Kareem Adeyemi. You're not gonna get Vlahovic. You're not gonna get you can't grab Haaland. Like you can't get Lautaro Martinez. Like you can't grab them man there. So like the best you could probably do is Isaac, and I like Isaac, but I don't think he's gonna score 20 league goals off the bat, or at least he's gonna struggle at some point because he's not a finished article sort of done. You know, even when we signed the Aubameyang, who out there could you grab? Like at least you could say Aubameyang could score goals. Who out there could you grab? Unless scouts have done their jobs. There's not really top level strikers generally everywhere. So it's a scouting thing. And again, are the scouts doing their jobs? You know, from last summer, you wanted a striker. So, you know, have you been every month, you know, you're putting a new striker under the database, you're emailing Arteta, have a look at this guy, have a look at that guy, got a different bunch of profiles. This guy's a target man. This guy's a poacher. This guy's reliant on pace. This guy, you know, comes short. This guy's, you know, these are a bit of the both ones. I don't know, but it is what it is. Man said, F it is an idea. Different captains every week to the end of the season, like back in school. To be fair, you do get school vibes from Arsenal, so it couldn't be bad. For me, yeah, man. Listen, I'm not one that just likes captain shouting for the sake of it, you know, especially in this country. I feel there's a lot wrong with the culture of football comparison to the European counterparts and what we see and we like, especially around body language and all that sort of tosh. But that could be something, you know, really. I don't really want, you know, I want people to lead by example and all of this, but I think Arsenal need to go back to what standard captains are, and I think Tierney and Ramsdale are that. Like, I'm sure they've got other things in their personal life, but we know fuck all about their personal lives, and we do about other people, and that tells you everything. The most exciting thing we know about Tierney is he collects the fines and he plays PlayStation, and he's what's it, and he's got a Tesco's bag. That's a captain. Just you're that. You can tell them, man, are the football dons. Like, you need to be in at 9 o'clock. Them man are there at 7:45. This is what we need. The man them are not doing that. Pepe's probably, Aubameyang's late. Pepe's probably woken up at 9 a.m. Lacazette's probably there as well, but he's not really on it until the man them are about. Partey's just come in from a WizKid concert. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Eddie, these man probably just chatting to things in the changing room. The man them are letting it down, man. I'm playing. But that's why the man need to be captain. Scored 17 goals again, but again, he's a young striker. I do like that Basel done, Obviously, I'm not watching Basel week in, week out, but I just educated myself on him. The Brazilian lad, I forgot his name just because he's always linked. He looks quite decent. Again, I'm not saying that's the guy. I don't know nothing about him, but it could be a cut price thing. I like Ben White. I feel in the last 3-4 games, he's really settled. I'd go back to Liverpool away. I know he got sat on his ass by Jota, but I think he's really settling now. I like Ben White. Still, the jury's still out, but yeah, man. Man said, and on your birthday week, that's your day to be captain. Cabral, yeah, I don't know too much about him, but he looks decent from what I've seen. Again, I'm not saying we should grab him, but if we could do a scouting thing, then these are the sort of guys that you need to grab in it. Like, well, who was Van Persie before we copped him? I know it took a while to get to Van Persie, but you look at how Van Persie found his way here. We got Adebayor from Monaco. Somehow we found I know he's a Croatian international, but a Brazilian in Croatia in Eduardo, and obviously, unfortunately, he bust his leg. But there was something there, It's a scouting thing, man. Like, we can't buy these top class strikers. I would love to be I hope Arsenal surprise us and bag one of these guys that we're always saying, who should we get in that? Would you take Antonio from West Ham? Jamaican bias, yeah. Best player in the league. Man said Aspas. Well, Isaac's hard. I mean, you can want Greenwood as much as you want. The United want to sell. They're smoking serious stuff over there if they want to sell. But why not? What are we saying? 40 million and a pound again? Can't be worse than Maguire. You can have him off us if you want. I mean, to be fair, Aubameyang's a lot of things, but he wasn't going abroad punching up, man, in it. So you might be right in that regards, my guy. You might be right still. Unpopular opinion, I don't mind signing old Donnies, but it's the right ones, man. It's the right ones. It's just something that Arsenal, when man are old or they're getting on, it's like all the stuff just gets highlighted. And I think we don't hide play. Every player's got a weakness in it. We don't hide our players' weaknesses well enough and promote the good things. Like, obviously, the way Partey, if Pogba leaves Juventus and comes to play for Man United, or Ozil Real Madrid to Arsenal, obviously you're going to see a bit more of a human element. Thiago to Liverpool, you're not. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the team, maybe it's the ignorance of a fan, but they appear a bit more human. They're not as mad as you thought they were. And you start to see that. I don't think we hide the elements of we don't hide the weaknesses of our players good enough and promote the good stuff, really. Sterling, bring him, come. Do you think Balogun could break through? I hope so, but he probably needs to go out and loan, play proper football week in, week out. Any chance we could get Serge back? I mean, you'd have to talk to the finance department, but that ship has probably sailed. Would you go for Lautaro Martinez? Yeah, for me, South American passion, hunger, desire, but again, it's looking like a myth. We need to, but at the same time, man, I have to listen to the scouts. Just from my little experience scouting, I know that they brought this guy in, but I know scouts can find players. Man, have to listen to you. There's scouts out there. There's a certain club next door to Arsenal's, not in London, well, not in North London, the training ground. I used to know a certain individual that used to work for them, and they had a head of youth development at the time. This guy found a lot of good players. I'm not going to shed any names, but at the times, a lot of good players. Two actually in the Premier League right now. When he's finding them at the time and he's putting his scouting reports, the head, and he's telling the head guy, because the head guy don't rate him, he's not listening. So he can find as many players as he wants, right about them. If the scouting report isn't being taken on, nothing's happening. So these men can scout who they want, as they have to be listened to. You know, they have to be listened to. If my man's telling you he's found a madman in Germany, in France, or whatever, go and watch him. He might be shit, but he might be the guy. So this is what we need to do, man. Oba to Newcastle, ching ching. Why not? Would you take someone like? Yeah, I'll take Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison still. What if we bring back Sanchez? Banter. Osimhen will be good, but ain't he got an injury to his eye or something? So let's see how he recovers from that. And that's another one. Did we not try grab him at 17? Vlasic, isn't that the one that's at West Ham? Of course, I'm taking Calvert-Lewin over him. But Odegaard, they ain't getting Haaland, bro. Haaland he can gas Haaland as much as he wants. He's not coming, bro. Does Haaland even know who Arteta is, blood? Respectfully, like, come on, man. Bro, Chiesa was there at Fiorentina. To be fair, Wenger was screaming that one day. Yeah, Sergeant Myth. We've been linked with Arthur Melo. You know, again, I'd be up to Arthur. I'll be up for Arthur Melo. I mean, Brazil bias. He's a baller in that. There's an article, if you allow me. Where is it? Sorry, my guy. So yeah, man, we've been linked with Arthur. You know. Apparently, Arthur Delegri was rejected. The Juventus coach waited for the Brazilian. He wanted to study him. He wanted to understand him. He also wanted to launch him. He included him in the Champions League list. But apparently, the internal situation is clear. The one on the market more complicated. The evaluation exchange with Pjanic weighs, but also and above all weights a net salary of 5.5. So again, Google Translate isn't helping us, but this tells us what we already know. Juventus are going to struggle to move players on because there's hella P's. I mean, we've been linked with him apparently. An Arsenal track is the one that leads to London with Arsenal, who is already intensifying contacts for Kulusevski. I mean, what Kulusevski and you in? You know, Kulusevski in, Aubameyang / Pepe out in Jan. I don't know, people. I'll be open to taking Arthur on loan with an option to buy. Why not, man? Seeing what he does. You don't always need to commit. Maybe we could do Kulusevski as well, man, for that. Really and truly. But yeah, I would take out for what it's worth. Who wouldn't want Arthur Melo? He's a baller, you know, Brazilian, can dictate the tempo of a game. You know, he's halfway out the door. Why not? But I don't see us going for him or Kulusevski. I mean, bring the Samba boys to the league, man. Hey, Darwin Núñez would be a baller. That's something that needs to be done. That Shamaka done looks decent, but Darwin Núñez, that could be done. That could be done for what, 50 million euros if you act now. That could be done. Darwin Núñez could be done. I'm not sure if he'd want to leave mid-season. I'm not sure if Benfica would want to sell him mid-season, but that's something you could do. And they're the ones you got to do before, you know, they start moving really mad and more zeros get thrown onto it. It wouldn't necessarily be my first choice, but I'm all for Darwin Núñez. Bring Núñez to the carpet, bro. I can't lie. But any striker we sign, I just hope that we know their strengths, because even when Aubameyang was scoring goals, I don't think we played to his strengths. I don't think we played to lack of strengths. If you sign a target, man, hit the ball to their chest. If you've got someone that's fast, play the ball inside. I don't think Laka should be given a new deal. I'm open to if we're moving on Aubameyang, then I would keep Laka for another year, just because I think we need a striker for the squad, especially if we're in Europa League. But I wouldn't say I'm right now. I'm looking to do any of that. I mean, I hope he don't go City. Man said he's a beast on FM. Now I think Simeone, every so often, you know, Simeone's son seems to score a lot of goals and be quite prolific, and then yeah. That's about it. Is there any other Arsenal related news? Let me see, people. Go on, Google. Tell me what's come out in the last hour. Fair enough. Meet me at the crossroads. It's the peak about, man. This is for my fallen soldiers. Hey, Aubameyang safe, bro, man. It's safe. It's so sad. The hottest loves have the coldest ends, man. Got rubbed out still. You drew yourself out, but still, man, you're my guy. Fuck what bro done. That's my, whatever Lowski said. You know, Aubameyang's still my guy. I don't care what he did, man. For what it's worth, Arsenal want Juventus double transfer for Arthur and Kulusevski with Aaron Ramsey also available. Aaron Ramsey, bro, Everton and Newcastle, them and they are calling, but apparently we're eyeing a double sweep. I mean, that's two loans. That's two loans. You know, Kulusevski could play on the flanks. Arthur Melo, I'm on it, but I just think it's WAS people. Apparently, reports emerged early this month that Arsenal chiefs were prepared to fly out to the Turin to thrash out negotiations. And it just, you know, I'm very wary of when we're linked with players in Italy. Obviously, we've signed a couple from Italy now, and whatnot. And obviously, you know, Vlahovic, their agents, I think they're capping us about the agents. You know, agents wanted about us bidding for Vlahovic. Obviously, we had the Locatelli shenanigans. So anytime we're linked with players in Italy, I'm a bit wary and any of these things, people. Apparently, you know, Juventus want 34 million for Kulusevski. I think that's calm. I think that's a good deal, you know. And obviously for Arthur, I think that's all, you know, getting for a cut price loan with an option, people. The Brazilian midfielder has had a nothing role, people. He's played 101 minutes in the Serie A division this season. He's second fiddle to Locatelli and Bentancur, and they're keen to move them on. So again, I think that's just, we need players, so we're probably being linked because of that reason. Beyond that, I can't say I believe any of this. 60 to 80 million for Greenwood, and I would get Ramsey back. Knows the league and loves the Gunners. I mean, him knowing the league and loving the club, nothing to do with anything. I wouldn't bring back Ramsey. Yeah. Kroenke has an NFL fine to pay. With that in mind, surely KSC will cap Arsenal's incomings and focus more on outgoings. I don't know. I don't know what's up with Aubameyang, D, but we need to solve it. You know, we really need to solve it, really and truly. If Barca do want him, let him go, man. Really and truly. I would still let Balogun go out on loan, if I'm honest with you. Man said Brewster. As much as we say that, Oba went from golden boot to fluffing sitters regularly. I mean, he's decreased as well. I mean, I've said that. Aubameyang's missed the very few chances he's getting, but what we can't lie to ourselves about is say there's not a lack of there's not a problem in terms of chance creation. Lacazette barely gets anything to deal with. Eddie's played there, barely gets anything. When Balogun played there, barely got anything. Regardless of who is up front, barely get anything. Martinelli last season at West Brom, barely got a sniff. You know? Yeah, Aubameyang's missing 1-2 chances, but we're not putting food on the plate for our strikers. Nah, Brewster's better than Eddie, from what I've seen. I'd prefer Eddie. I think Eddie's better than him. But if I was a manager looking for a striker, Brewster's had a good season at Swansea. I ain't seen Eddie do nothing, man. I mean, who wouldn't take Rafinha? It's brazy, man. It's absolutely brazy. Can make an argument for all our back five to be captains. True. Want to see a bit more from Tomiyasu in that leadership sort of regards, and then maybe. Ramsdale has poor positioning, backs up his game with distribution and command. When I say poor positioning, you know, is it really poor positioning to shift your feet to the left or the right, whatever it was, to save that free kick at Leicester? It could be improved. I wouldn't say poor. I don't think there's poor elements of his game. I think there's improvements that could be made. I think that's a bit harsh. People saying Saka is better than Pepe. What's the criteria? Pepe had the second most goals and assists last season. I would love Kareem Adeyemi, but that one there's a myth. And again, exactly. Aubameyang, I wouldn't be giving up them wages. I mean, you're right. Sometimes strikers create for themselves, but I mean, at the same time, we ain't got that. Lacazette can create chances for himself. How many has he? Even that, he still needs it. And you look at Aubameyang, I agree with you. I always say the first things first. Regardless, you need to blame yourself. You, as a striker, you can't keep blaming not scoring on chances being created. But at the same time, if you're not scoring, but we're hardly creating, and you are, let's have it right, a service-reliant striker, at what point do we judge a footballer at face value? How can we get mad? It's like me with the midfield. As much as I need progressive number 8s, I look at Xhaka and Partey, or Lokonga and Ainsley. I can't really get too vexed at you lot because you lot, it's out of your limitations, if that makes sense. It's crazy. I think that's harsh on Pepe. I don't know where Leno will go, but he needs to sort it out in it if he wants to go World Cup and all of those sort of things. I don't know where Leno will go. To be fair with you, I don't really care about where Leno goes. If I'm completely being deadly honest, like, To be honest, I want to hold on to Leno till May. God forbid anything happens to Ramsdale, then who goes in goal? I don't think Arthur Okonkwo and Carl Hine are levels. I'll be real with you. I would love Martinez from Inter Milan. I want to see Pepe get some game time against Leeds because he's going to have a point to be. But I hear that, but I just want to win. Get Rafa Mir from Seville. He's just joined them though, innit? I mean, Ronaldo would be decent on loan in Jan, but does Ronaldo want to give up on his PSG adventure this quickly? I think we should get David from Lille. Wouldn't be my first choice, but he's alright. Why not, man? What do you think about Jesus? Would you take him? If you're talking about cities, then yeah, but you're not going to leave City and come Arsenal. Probably block Arteta's phone number when he calls you and that, innit? I think the team flushed out. Aubameyang, whoever the strikers are, need to play two up front. And again, do we need to? Does that unbalance the team? You know, with Martinelli and Saka and obviously Smith Rowe, I do think we should be able to play two at a time up front. But do we need to play two up front? We did beat Leeds in the cup this season. Eddie and Ketty are bagging. But again, it sounds cliche, but every game is different. I mean, Leno has injuries, Emmanuel. Hella unlikely. And I mean, as long as, well, I wouldn't say as long as they've got a plan, but they need to have a plan, innit? Man said Greenwood to Arsenal, you know, again. More chance of that Martial, brother. And I'll take Martial as well for what it's worth. Hella embarrassing for what's going on with Aubameyang, man. And again, in terms of transfers, people, you know, ironically, we were just talking about that Basel and now look. Again, courtesy of Google Translate. Arsenal eye Arthur Corral of FC Basel and Jonathan David with the probable departure of Lacazette, who arrives at the end of his contract at Arsenal, and that of Aubameyang, who was sidelined by Mikel Arteta for indiscipline. The Gunners are looking for an even two attackers. Two profiles in particular caught the attention of Arteta. Indeed, it is Arthur Cabral who stacks the goals under the colours of FC Basel. And obviously Jonathan David, who has 11 goals so far. The two files, nevertheless, are rather complicated. Indeed, Cabral is coveted by many European teams, including Barcelona and PSG. For Jonathan David, the situation is identical. Several clubs from the old continent are interested, in particular Liverpool. They want Leo. It's gone on to say Leo want no less than 50 mil. And I mean, we've worked with Leo for two signings, and you owe us really for zanging us for Pepe. So if you can do us a little deal for David and Sanchez, we'd take that. I like this Cabral. I don't know if Barcelona have the bread and they need to sell people. PSG can do anything they want, so that could, you know, it is what it is. And obviously there's hella Brazilian and South American man at PSG, so it would make more sense. I mean, I'll take a dead January as long as you bring me a centre mid. If January ends and there's no centre mid, much like last summer, I've got no faith. Are you seeing Arteta's vision? This was like a question I saw earlier about what's your thoughts on the process, man. It's the same thing. Like we've been here before. Like I do see on occasion what Arteta wants to do, but it's just about longevity now. At the end of the day, as harsh as it sounds, I just care about where you finish in May, what we look like in May, and what we're saying in May. I still think we're in the same territory as last season. And I'm not saying I know any more or less, but this is why I didn't get too down when, as much as you could say, when we're getting battered at the start of the season. This is why I never got gas when we're winning. This is why I'm not excited. Like Arsenal is everything I'm seeing this season, beyond the obvious positives and the obvious negatives, is what I see all the time is swings and roundabouts. I need to see longevity to know we're really moving in this positive direction, because there's been times under Mikel Arteta where it's looked like we're moving, and at times it looks like it's different-ish, same toilet. So I don't know. Does Smith Rowe or Odegaard start? If you're asking me either or, I think it's harsh for Odegaard to be dropped. But I would, if you put a gun to my head and we had to win this game or I'm going to get shot dead, then I'd say Smith Rowe. I don't know how much Martial's worth, but probably not what United paid for him. Afternoon, back at you, my guy. We moved the ball a bit faster in that game, but we're still a bit slow. The midfielders under Wenger never held onto the ball for more than 2 seconds when attacking. True. If we would have beaten United and Everton, we'd be at the top with the big dogs right now. It's true, but This is Arsenal, innit? If, shoulda, woulda, coulda, ifs and buts. The facts are we're not, and we're going to drop more points. And this is why I keep saying, you know, everything adds up. We are going to drop points. But what would you say have been silly points this season? I would say Brentford, fair enough, there was injuries, but we weren't competitive. There's no excuse to not be competitive. You know, I think we dropped stupid points. Palace at home. I think we're lucky to get a point against Brighton, but we never turn up. So that's 3 games off the top of my head where it hasn't been good enough. You know, Everton as well, not good enough. United, you needed to have walked away at least with a point. You didn't do that. You know, and there's probably other examples. City, Chelsea, all right, cool. Liverpool, we could have done better in them games. I'm not going to be as harsh on the team with them games there, Car. There's an obvious golf quality, but there's going to be more times, and you need to add up these points. To, you know, that's why we need to win these winnable games. Wouldn't mind Watkins. I'm a bit more on the Watkins hype than I thought now, but I'm not really on it. I would like a set piece merchant. You're right. I think if he doesn't get Europa, Arteta should go. I don't think he's going to be judged if he doesn't get Champions League. I think that would be harsh. 200 odd likes. Make sure you're hitting the like button. But yeah, I think that would be a bit harsh. Very, very harsh on the guy. I think if you don't get Europa League and we don't see the everlasting changes, then I don't think there should be a new deal for Donny personally. That's just me though. What was I doing? Sorry, folks. Brain fart. I was making a timestamp this. That big up you lot, man. You lot always make the convo always spectacular, man. You get a couple more in. Odegaard will go missing again. Start Smith Rowe. Come on, like, man. I'd love Richarlison for 50, 60. Probably not going to get him for them things there. Arthur and Renato both on loan with option to buy. Sell Xhaka. I wouldn't sell Xhaka in January. I'd let him go in the summer if that's truthfully what he wants, though. 1 game, 1 week to prepare every game. Anything less than top 5 is a failure. Why is it harsh? The only thing he has is to get top 4. He isn't in Europe. I mean, we've got to remember, you know, a couple of weeks ago, people were saying teams are better than us. Narratives can change. And, you know, Arsenal are fourth, but we're not the only team that's in it. I'm not looking for excuses. On one hand, I somewhat agree with you, but I will sack. I'm calling for a sack if you don't get Europa League minimum. Because I don't think we have a Champions League team. I think we've got a decent position. I think they boys could see it through. I think if you're competitive, you could do a thing. But I don't think we have a Champions League squad. So if you do not get Europa, if you bottle top 4, I'm looking at you sideways. But if you do not get Europa League in any capacity, then Renison should be with us talking on YouTube. You're not a footballer. I don't advocate challenging. I do want to run it all the way. I do want to go as far as we can in the FA Cup. And obviously, we've got the Carabao Cup next week. I do want to, obviously, it goes without saying, who doesn't, any team, you want to go as far as you can in everything. What do you think of Bielsa as a manager? I mean, he's a great manager. It's going a bit brazy for him, but yeah, man. I mean, Foden's better than Smith Rowe, if you're asking me that, but I won't say that again. I ain't being funny, but I ain't seen Smith Rowe. I mean, Foden score from outside the area with his weaker peg at Old Trafford. Top 6 in a domestic trophy run. But if we get top 4, I'll be gas, Car. You're in the Champions League. Maybe some players on top of the London aspect and the money Arsenal's going to give you, man, might say, what? Champions League football, yeah? Come, let's do this thing. And Arsenal are back. You know, we're only going to get in Champions League to get embarrassed against Bayern Munich and them people again. But do you know how much I'm roasting to hear? The champions. I ain't done a watch-along for Arsenal with that. I ain't heard that. We are the champions. I think I'll cry. First watch along I do with Arsenal in the Champions League. I think I'll be there like it's the national anthem. Go, I can't believe it. We need that, man. Bro, top 4 and Haaland coming carpet. I wish I should show that optimism. And that's it. Arteta finished 8th twice. I'll give the last season, the full season, you finished 8th. You finished 8th. So that's your real L in it. You need to pattern. Bro, if we imagine that Champions League back at the carpet, Bayern Munich mashing us up, us losing the first leg only to inevitably say, oh, if we didn't do this and that. And there's not even away goals again. So we might have half a chance. Who knows? Arsenal might go all the way. Like, we might go all the way. Where do you see us in the table after Christmas? I wish I had an answer for you. I don't know. If the club is serious, you've still got to be in and among this 4th to 7th place, in and among the points tallies. Well, the deep thing is, we'll probably sign some Haaland with the same name, but it won't be the real legit Haaland. It'll be some bookie doppelganger guy. Saying that, I swear he's got a cousin who's moving mad. So if his cousin's born in the same lab as him, let's get that one done, man. I don't know if I want to sit here with you lot getting smacked in 5-1 and seeing Ox getting mad again. Remember when Ox going, press. I don't want to see certain man crumbling, man. I hope so, man. Bring it, because we only bucked these teams in preseason more time now, innit? And we didn't even play them and they're in preseason again. So, boy, and you know we're not gonna get, if we get to the last 16, we're not gonna get no Leo and all of these things. Top 4 after playing 5 more games than everyone, boy. I'll be there even if it costs millions to go. Trust me. But yeah, on that note though, people, I'm going to go and get a cheeky gym session in before I play Football Manager at 4 p.m. with you lot. Make sure you're following me on Twitch and whatnot. Again, in terms of my content, make sure you're here for the watch along tomorrow, man. I've loved all the content this week. Big up Mo Baguna. Where you been? You've been hiding, broski. There's that. Where's Twitch? Oh, shit. Make sure you're following me on Twitch. And again, can I show you my schedule? Again, content. Footy Manager, we was there earlier, and well, there's nothing now. But on Monday, it should show that there's some content. So yeah, make sure you lot are all there, man. Is what it is. Obviously, it's been a fantastic live stream. We've been here for an hour and 40 minutes. I don't want to stink up the place and hang around like a bad smell. So I'm going to let you lot keep it moving. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the engagement. Make sure you're commenting and subscribing. Thanks for the talking points. Thanks for your support throughout the whole year. Big up the members, moderators, subscribers, long-term supporters, and new ones as well. You lot, you know, without you lot, this thing is pointless. We've covered Arsenal's press conference with Mikel Arteta and Aubameyang. Obviously, we've spoken about transfers and some general Arsenal points. We've previewed Leeds and Arsenal. It's been a great one, really, man. So you lot, gonna go get something to eat really quickly and whatnot. It is what it is. Thierry Henry, real guy, man. Real guy. I appreciate all the support. I mean, if you could swap Aubameyang for Dembele, why not? But it'd be the same things, bro. You hear Dembele is late all the time, and that is one man out, the next one out. But you know me, I like the man them at the team, so why not? On that note, though, everybody stay blessed, stay safe. People, DG.
There's always that active red line, defenders. I think it's like DG. I'm ruined.